What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kill the Credits. I'm Keelan, and today we're diving into a new horror thriller called Bone Lake. Directed by Mercedes Bryce Morgan and written by Joshua Friedlander, this one follows a couple on vacation who head to a secluded lakeside estate for a peaceful getaway. Things take a quick turn when another couple shows up to stay at the mansion too. What starts as awkward small talk turns into a nightmare spiral of seduction, lies, and manipulation. And soon, survival becomes the only goal. Let me tell you right up front, this movie is awesome. Going into it, I wasn't totally sure what to expect. From the posters and the promo images, I figured that it was going to lean into some sexual tension and maybe have some sleazy thriller vibes. And yeah, that's in here for sure. But what I didn't expect was how uncomfortable and emotionally tense that it was going to get. The atmosphere is thick with anxiety. It had me clenching my teeth, groaning at the screen, and honestly wishing that I could step in and stop the characters from making half the decisions that they were making. So in this movie, we're following two couples, Sage and Diego, played by Maddie Hassan and Marco Pagasi, and then Will and Sin, played by Alex Rowe and Andra Nachita. I don't know if I got those names right. I'm pretty sure I butchered them. If I did, I apologize. But right away, you definitely feel a difference between the two couples. Sage and Diego come off as much more mature, a little bit steadier, a little bit more grounded. Whereas Will and Sin, they're much more freer, seem even maybe a little bit younger, and just the type of people that consistently chase thrills in life. And when those two energies clash under one roof, every moment of flirtation, mistrust, and curiosity all have weight. This movie plays it smart by keeping you off balance, always questioning and not entirely sure where the movie's headed. It teases a lot of questions, drops hints, and then eventually they pull back the curtain with a reveal that kicks things into high gear fast. And while this isn't a movie that racks up a high body count, when the violence does break out, it goes hard, no pun intended. And while the gore isn't constant, when it does happen, it's sharp and completely unapologetic, which I think leads to the effectiveness when we do eventually get to those moments. But what really caught my attention about Bone Lake was the exploration of relationships, specifically trust, and just how easily manipulated it can be if you're not careful. It's not just about romance either. It oftentimes begs the question of morality. How far would someone go if temptation's just dangling itself in front of them? How quickly can love unfold when insecurity creeps in? In a world where social media and dating apps already cause a lot of that mistrust and disloyalty, Bone Lake taps into that real life anxiety and then cranks it up to 11. The psychological games being played between these characters is just as stressful as the physical danger, if not more. There were multiple times where I honestly wanted to yell at the screen, and to me, that's a sure sign that they were hitting the nerves that they wanted to. And finally, there's the ending. And don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to get into the specifics, but I think it's important that I highlight the ending of this film because, in my opinion, so often do horror movies fumble the landing in the end, and this was not the case for Bone Lake. The ending is bold, gory, funny, and even a little bit heartfelt, which was a little surprising. It honestly felt like the natural climax to everything we'd been watching throughout the runtime. And it was probably one of the few times this year where I left the theater genuinely feeling satisfied with the ending, not having to sort of convince myself of why I liked it or, liking some parts of it, but ultimately feeling kind of let down. This is one of those times where I was like, okay, like they wrapped it up in a really nice way and I genuinely felt satisfied. So overall, Bone Lake is a twisted, tension-filled ride that manages to mix erotic thriller vibes with horror in a way that feels fresh and unsettling. It's not a kill-heavy horror flick by any means, but honestly, it doesn't need to be. Its strength lies in the atmosphere, the psychology, and the way that it makes you squirm in your seat. If you're in a horror that blends raw human behavior with bursts of shocking violence, then this one is definitely made for you. But what do you think? Does Bone Lake sound like the type of horror film that you would check out? Or are you not really into that style of anxiety-driven thrillers? Be sure to drop your thoughts in the comments below. As always, be safe out there, everybody, and I will see you guys in the next video. Yes. Hey babe, guess what? We got approved to stay at that lake house in Wisconsin you love.